Bangkok by the river. If you've ever been to Bangkok or have thought about going to Bangkok, you know it's a city of excitement. But Bangkok's large. There's a lot going on. And there's an area by the river where things calm down a little bit. There's a lot of things to see. There's a lot of things to do. But it doesn't have the rush of the rest of Bangkok. So if you're in Bangkok and you need a little time out from all the excitement, from the hustle and bustle of Bangkok, this is probably the place for you to come. So we start our journey, we're on the river from the hotel. Now there's a few hotels on the river and most of them have shuttles that can bring you to various parts. And this is Icon Siam. And this is one of the shuttle schedules. And it's important to realize that and these are some of the sights that you can see along the river if you are so inclined. One of the things you can do is take one of these riverboat cruises. They have buffets that range in price, and they can be pretty pricey for Bangkok. But along the way, you get a nice cruise for a couple of hours up and down the river. And one of the great things about Icon Siam, this is what we're seeing here, is that it's a very high-end mall and it's very well done. A lot of interesting things to see. It by itself is something you may just want to come and see. Out in front of Icon Siam, especially at dusk, they have this wonderful show that pops up the fountains. It pops up some fountains. A nice little show. It's about almost 10 minutes long. Quite beautiful. A bit of a surprise, actually, how well done it is. So it's something that you definitely, if you're in Bangkok, you'll want to come and see this anyways. But if you actually are down by the river and you decide to take a little break from the hustle and bustle of a lot of Bangkok, this is something you'll want to catch around dusk, which we were fortunate enough to do ourselves. Now after the show, we went and took one of the riverboat cruises that has a food, basically a buffet. Now, just some pro tips when you go and you do it, just realize that you don't have to be in a rush to get food. You have 2 hours, and in all actuality, you probably want to pace yourself in what you're eating because you will be on there for a while. You don't want to eat too much. So this is one of the hotels on the river that we stayed at. Quite a nice hotel. It is a little aged at this time, but because of that, you have rooms that are relatively large compared to the newer hotels. Some downsides to it, yes, probably not as well maintained as some of the newer hotels, even in the same chain, but still quite nice. We enjoyed it. Nearby there is shopping. This happens to be an art mall nearby, and there are things to do up and down the river if you are so inclined, or you can just relax, enjoy the the surroundings. The river itself looks beautiful from afar, but it's certainly not something I'd want to jump in and swim in. It's just not appropriate. I don't think we saw anybody actually attempting to touch the water at any time. It's a commercial river, so you have, besides, you have a lot of transport of goods on the river as well. This is just the mall that was next to our hotel. It's a little artsy mall. There's different kinds of arts you can buy there. Of course, restaurants and just nice things to look at and see as well. When we were down in this area, we found some, we decided to do a little tour around the area. One thing that was a little surprising was the mass exodus around dinner time. People kind of, if they didn't eat in the hotel, they kind of fled. Fled is a strong word, but they left the area to go find something to eat. Now, there's obviously things to eat around the area, but people were taking Uber slash Grab and Bolt. Those are the Uberish, Lyftish kinds of companies out there to leave. They're not that expensive, relatively speaking. I think to get to our hotel on the river, it was about $26 it's 26 US from the airport, from Sukhumvit Airport. So not too bad. This was our hotel. Like I said, it's a sizable hotel. This bathroom was almost the size of our room that we had in Japan. As you can see, there's plenty of space, the usual accoutrements. A little bit of a dark hallway, but a quite pleasant stay for us. One of our more enjoyable stays in the different hotels that we went on our long journey through Asia. It's something we highly recommend if you want to take a break from the hustle and bustle. So you can see the views besides the river view that you get on the other side. If you happen to get this view, you can see it's quite nice. A beautiful view of the city. So, you're not too far from it all if you decide to stay here for a day or two. We only stayed for a few days out of our extended vacation because, yes, it was nice to take a break from all the excitement, but we needed to get back to it, and we did. So, highly recommend it. Now, there were some things to know. I alluded to it earlier, with all the folks leaving, and what we found out was that, people are not staying down in that area. So a lot of the businesses are suffering. A lot of them are closed. So those are the two choices, basically. If you wanted to go, well, some of the choices, of course, you can go across and take a riverboat cruise, which I didn't care for. The food, I enjoyed the cruise aspect of it. It was not something that we would do again, put it that way. It was just not, we wouldn't go for the food. We might take it just for the cruise. But like I said, we spent well over 100. I mean, you have it there. We may have spent like $150 on the cruise. So for 4 people, well, three adults and a child. And this happens to be the buffet that came with our stay. It was quite large, but once again, I'm not the biggest fan of buffets. I think, they're just tend to get you to overeat, which isn't something I'd recommend. But this was quite nice, and it did come with our room. So, give it a chance. Stay by the river